Hey everyone, it is Friday, February 18th. Sorry. I'm tired at 2:18 p.m. And I think I did a video earlier this month at the beginning somewhere. I don't remember. There's been some changes and I want to update you guys because that's why I created this journal. I don't want to just drop off the map and they're like, "Oh my God, is she okay? Is she dead? What happened?" But no, I'm doing quite well. Um, as you guys know, in mid-July of this year, I'm moving to Las Vegas from Columbus, Ohio. And, I'm really excited about that because I'm sorry to any people who live in Ohio, but I freaking hate Ohio. I can't wait to get up here. So, I obviously when you move out of an apartment, you want it to look as good or better than when you left. That way you can ensure you get your what's it called? Your deposit back, right? So I went out and I bought all kinds of cleaning supplies and stuff, and man, I get wiped out. And I'm like, why am I so tired? Well, probably because I'm malnourished and I'm losing weight and I'm not eating enough. But I did notice something that kind of took top tier as far as obstacles went, and that was my abdominal area. I still have a lot of fluid retention. I'm probably carrying around 15 pounds. Last time I was in the hospital, they said I didn't have enough to have them tap my tummy, which is basically they stick something in my tummy and drain me, kind of like a beer keg, I guess. So they said, follow low sodium diet, get some exercise, and you take your diuretic, and you should be okay. So take my diuretic every night, like I'm supposed to. Um, I try not to drink too many liquids, even though I get really dehydrated or I feel really dehydrated. Um, and when it comes to food, before all this started, I not only used alcohol to medicate, but I also used food to medicate. And that's why, one of the reasons I got up to 250 pounds. So, I was like, I gotta change my diet. And so, first thing I did was obviously I couldn't eat the same things I was eating before because, you know, fast food is so high in sodium. So I started out by, finding copycat recipes to my favorite foods and making them at home. And, then after a while, I was like, well, I don't know. Somehow it just didn't connect. Like there was that connection wasn't there with me food wise. So I was like, I always found that when I ate fresh food, like fresh, raw food, I felt good. Like I craved it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to research some eating plans and see if I could find one that I like. And after some research, I found a Mediterranean plan and a Japanese plan. And seeing as how I love the Japanese culture, language, I'm learning Japanese, um, the music, and everything, it only made sense to go with the Japanese diet. So I started watching videos and reading articles and stuff. But like the videos I watched were like Japanese people from Japan, and how they ate. I watched videos on like Japanese school lunch, like what they serve for school lunch. I watched you know, um, native Japanese people, how they made their food, how they ate their food, how they portioned their food, how they spent their day, things like that. And I started stockpiling recipes on how I could make these recipes myself. Because even though it's fun to go out and have Japanese, it's not very cost efficient because it's so expensive. So what I did is I learned the basics, how to make steamed rice, how to make chicken teriyaki, how to make uh, you know katsu, which is like katsu. I don't want to say it's like it's like katsu is like it's breaded like pork and chicken, but it's breaded with panko, like panko breadcrumbs, instead of batter and fried, and it's so good and things like that. So sorry, I'm making a diaper for my daughters. Making it.
I'm so sorry.
Why? For my daughter's Mickey Mouse. There we go.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
This is a baby Mickey Mouse.
That's a baby Mickey Mouse now. So, I started looking up more. I started looking up more recipes with like fish and chicken and pork, um, just like everything. And so I kind of noticed, like here in Ohio, like where I live, there's a Kroger, there's a Walmart, there's a Meijer, there's Giant Eagle. I was gonna say Grand Eagle, Giant Eagle. Um, and with the whole supply and demand thing, like a lot of stores don't have a lot of things. So I'm like, it would be worth it to find a Japanese market. And I did find a Japanese market just a couple miles away. So I'm like, yes, because they not only have the Japanese ingredients, but they have fresh sushi, they have bento boxes, and they have like a lot of really cool stuff. And so I was like, that's awesome. Whenever I need a specific ingredient that the stores don't have, because typically um, it's just easier for me to go to one of the, chain stores. But, it's harder to go to a Japanese market because a lot of the packages, they're in Japanese and I'm still learning. So what I actually did was I downloaded Google Translate to my phone. And the great thing about Google Translate is that I can put on Google Translate on my phone. I don't have my phone with me right now, but I could take the package, put my phone over it. It'll take a picture of the writing and translate it immediately. So I know what's in that package, whether it's candies or cookies or noodles or whatever. So that's like a huge help. But I learned one of the great things because I love to cook. I love to cook, but with my limited mobility, it's hard to be in the kitchen. It's hard to be standing in the kitchen all the time. So I started making bento boxes. And for those of you who don't know what bento boxes are, they're like boxes maybe about this big, and they have little compartments. And they can range anywhere from 2 compartments to 8 compartment, or you can get a bento box this big if you want. But each little compartment has something in it. Um, kind of like tapas. I don't know if you guys like tapas, or they call them small plates, where they're like little plates like this and they have like a little sampling of everything. Uh, Same thing with bento boxes, and they're portioned perfectly. Because yes, they have shrimp tempura, which is tempura is a fried batter. They have katsu, which is a panko breading. They have, and then a lot of their sushi rolls have like has mayo and it has um, all kinds of stuff in it, you know? And but the thing with them is portion control. You know, you don't have to have a whole 8-piece sushi roll like this to yourself. That's way too much food. That would be perfect for like maybe two people to share. But for yourself, that's way too much. And so I started looking at their portion sizes, and I found out when it comes to their um, portion sizes as far as protein goes, like a like for me, a good indication, a quick indication of portion size is for protein, 4 ounces for protein, like the size of your hand, like the size of a filet mignon, like that. That would be perfect, you know. Um, for starches, a cup, you know, like I have a 1 cup measuring cup. What I usually do is I'll take my rice or my noodles and I'll pack them in the cup and I'll, you know, in the bento box. And then in the second compartment I'll put some chicken teriyaki. And then in the next one a couple of California rolls that I make myself or a couple of tempura, you know, but you also have to know your limits because I don't like leftover bentos. So I know how much I can eat. So I'll make a bento box that's perfect for my appetite size. Fine. So for me, I could probably do a cup of steamed rice and a couple of tempura or, you know, some teriyaki. You know, sometimes I'll make California rolls and I have like maybe two or three after I cut it up, 2 or 3 pieces. And you just it's kind of like meal planning, you know. You make a you can make yourself three bent if you eat 3 meals a day, make yourself 3 bento boxes. One for breakfast, one for lunch, one for dinner. Stick them in the fridge. Next morning, grab your breakfast and lunch bento box, go to work, you know, come home, you have your dinner bento box ready to go. And you just if you have to heat it up, heat it up. Otherwise, you know, um if you have the time or energy to uh, cook, then cook. And the great thing is you can make these recipes yourself and put them in the bento box, and you have this like amazing like box lunch or breakfast, and it's awesome. I love it. As far as drinks go, it's just mostly like green tea. I do drink juice. I drink cranberry juice. I drink lemonade. And that's pretty much it. Lemonade, my favorite is Milo's. Um, I never knew about Milo's until I came to Ohio. It started with their sweet tea. I'm not a big sweet tea fan, but it was good. So I was like, well, let me try their lemonade. Tastes just like tastes just like hot dog on a stick lemonade. And so what I do is I put a half a glass. I fill up a cup with ice, put half lemonade, half club soda, and mix it together, and it's so good. It's really hard for me to drink full strength um, juice because it's too sweet for me. I can't drink. It's almost it's weird. It's like I get this almost syrupy-ness out of the juice, and I have to put water in it. Um, but a lot of it is tea. Ginger tea, green tea. I love green tea. Um, a great resource is a Japanese market. Go there, look around, use your Google Translate, see what they sell. See what kind of drinks they have. Um, if you're interested in the Japanese diet, because the Japanese diet is so versatile. You don't have to eat fish. You don't have to eat sushi. You can base it on chicken. You can base it on pork or beef. You could do, vegetarian. You could do vegan. It's up to you. It's so versatile. There's so many different recipes and so many different styles, but it's so healthy, you know. Not only will it help you, keep your weight down or lose weight, but it has healing properties. And so, it was a no-brainer for me to start the Japanese diet. So that's what I'm doing right now. And you know, I know living here, I can't always be eating Japanese food or Japanese style food. So what I do is if my husband does go out and pick up food, I look at the menu and make sure I pick something fresh. Whether it's like I love cold sandwiches. So like tomorrow, he's going to a sandwich place, so I'm getting a cold sandwich with lettuce and with lots of produce. Um, if they sell salads, I'll get a salad. Um, I always make sure that I try to order the healthiest and freshest on the menu. A really good resource is a website called Eat This Not That. And it for every restaurant, it'll tell you what is the best thing to eat and what is the worst thing to eat. So that's a really great resource you can go to also. But the best thing you want to do is pick ingredients that are fresh and natural and nutritious, and you can't go wrong. So it's almost 17 minutes. That's the end of part one. I'm going to go on to part two right now, so I'll see you in part two.